नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने। कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे। निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे। शिव जय जय गौरचान्दे आरती शोभा। शिव जय जय गौरचान्दे आरती शोभा। शिव जय जय गौरचान्दे आरती शोभा। जानवी तट बने जगमन लोभा। 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 किव दक्षिणे निताय चाँद भमे गदाधार। 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 निकटे अद्वैतात्रिणे पसा छत्रधारा। निकटे अद्वैतात्रिणे वास छत्रधारा। निकटे अद्वैतात्रिणे बसा छत्रधारा। निकटे अद्वैतात्रिणे वास छत्रधारा। किव वसी अच्छे गौरचाँद रत्ना सिंहासने। 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 आरती करे ना ब्रह्मा आदि देवगणे। आरती करे ना ब्रह्मा आदि देवगणे। आरती करे ना ब्रह्मा आदि देवगणे। वासु प्रसादि गाया
मुकुंदा वासु प्रसादि
संजय मुकुंदा वासु प्रसादि गाया
मुकुंदा वासु प्रसादि
किव शंखा बजे घंटा बाजे बजे करताला
शिव शंकर घंटा बाजे बाजे करताला
किव शंखा बजे घंटा बाजे बजे करताला
शिव शंकर
बजे घंटा बाजे बजे करताला मधुरा मृदंगा बजे परामरसाला
मधुरा मृदंगा बजे परामरसाला
मधुरा मृदंगा बजे परामरसाला
मधुरा मृदंगा बजे परामरसाला
शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे
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 मधुर 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 बाजे
मधुर 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 बाजे
मधुर 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 बाजे
मधुर 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 बाजे
मधुर 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 बाजे
मधुर 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 बाजे
शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे
शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे
शिव बहु कोटि चंद्र जीने बदन उजाला
शिव बहु कोटि चंद्र जिनी बदन उज्ज्वला
शिव बहु कोटि चंद्र जीने बदन उजाला
शिव बहु कोटि चंद्र जिनी बदन उज्ज्वला
गाला देसे बाना माला कोरे झलमाला
गाला देशे बाला माला गोरे झलमाला
गाला देसे बाना माला कोरे झलमाला
गाला देशे बाला माला गोरे झलमाला
शिव शिव सुखा नारदा प्रेमे गदा गादा
शिव 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 नारायण विनोद देखे गौरार चंपारा
शिव जय जय गौर चंदे आरती को शोभा
शिव जय जय गौर चंदे आरती का शोभा
जाना विधाता बने जग मन लोभा
विधाता बने
जग मन लोभा जाना विधाता बने जग मन लोभा
ज्ञान विधाता बने जगमन लोभा
गौरांगे रारति को शोभा जग जन मान लोभा
गौरांगे राधिक शोभा जगा जन मन लोभा
गौरंगी आरती को शोभा जग जन मान लोभा
गौरांगे राधिक शोभा जगा जन मन लोभा
गौरंगी आरती को शोभा जग जन मान लोभा
गौरांगे राधिक शोभा जगा जन मन लोभा
जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय
जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय
जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय
गौरनिताय गौरनिताय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण
कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण Hare
एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिवीराचार्य अष्टोत्तर सदा His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai Om ISKCON founder Acharya, BVT founder Acharya, Savior of the whole world, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Pariviracharya, Nitya Leela Privishta Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Maharaj Prabhupada ki Nanda Kodi Vaishnava Vrinda ki Ramacharya Shilajidas Thakur ki Sat Goswami Prabhu ki प्रेम च हो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की वृंदावन नवदीप धाम की मधुर धाम की जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की द्वारका धाम की गंगामय यमुनामय की भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की समवेद भक्त वृंद की हरिनाम संकीर्तन की संकीर्तन महायज्ञ की ट्रांसडेंटल शिला प्रभुपाद भक्ति भूषण की श्री श्री राधा माधव हरि की श्रीनाथ जी गोपाल की गौनिताय भगवान की संबल वैष्णव जगत गुरु शीला प्रभुपाद की निताय गौर परमानंदे all glory to assembled devotees, all glory to assembled devotees, all glory to assembled devotees, all to Sri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada ki.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Praladadayane. Hiranyakashipu vaksha.
Hiranyakashipu vaksha.
Shilatangara galaya.
Shilatangara galaya.
Hironasena varedonasena.
Donasena
Narasimhan ki, Ramanaj ki, Shri Prabhupada ki, Nanda Krishna Vrinda ki, Radhika and Shyam Kund ki, Gokul Madan Vrindavan Dham ki, Jai Govardhana ki, Gopinath ki, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Sari Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki, Jai Gaur Bharadar.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to the International Society of Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON of Phoenix. On behalf of our presiding deity, Shri Radha Madhav Hari, we are so happy you are here for our first regular class of 2025. I know children have all gone to their respective classrooms, and there is space here. So if you move forward, it will be easier for the newcomers for the latecomers to join in the back. So if you can try and come forward, that would be really nice. So today's class, Bhagavad Gita class, is going to be given by His Grace Harihar Narayan Prabhu. He is a disciple of His Holiness Jaipataka Maharaj, and he's been serving this temple for almost a decade, little bit over a decade. And he comes from a family of Krishna consciousness, where there are devotees and they've been following Krishna consciousness for some time. Prabhu and his wife Sugamini Indulekha Devidasi both have been participating and volunteering at the temple for quite a long time. They do a lot of background services. Harihar Nayan Prabhu, for example, takes care of our schedule of Sunday feast speakers. He participates in the Srimad Bhagavatam classes that are given in the morning, as well as our Sunday feast classes occasionally. And he's a very good kirtanier. He loves to sing, and he also recites Sanskrit verses very nicely as well. It's really a joy to hear him recite Sanskrit verses. And he's memorized a lot of these prayers in Srimad Bhagavatam, prayers like Queen Kunti's prayers or Bhishma Dev's prayers and so forth. And if you ever get a chance, it's really nice to hear those recited by Prabhu. I know Mohan Chaitanya Prabhu often will pick up his recordings and have on our temple monitor after our evening programs during the weekdays. So thank you, Prabhu. You have a sweet voice and I hope you keep it up. And Sugamini Devidasi Mataji also has helped us. She used to teach Sunday school at one time, but now they have their own little one, so she cannot do that service. But she used to help us a lot with making the flyers for our different programs. And she still fills in here and there, and she helps us send out all the mass emails that you get that are sent out by Mataji. So I'm very grateful for their seva. They both work, they have a child, they have a house, and they do all the seva that they need to do, but they also help the temple whenever they're needed. I used to love their japa seva during festivals, but then after the baby came, they have been taking on other services, but I'll always have fond memories of them managing that particular seva so nicely. They're very organized, and they used to like doing that seva also, so I'm sure in the future you'll probably come back to that. So today's topic is going to be summary of Bhagavad Gita chapter 1. I think that's a really nice way to start the year, don't you think? Yeah, an introduction to Bhagavad Gita, because that's where we are introduced to the Bhagavad Gita itself, the players in Bhagavad Gita. So without saying too much, Harihar Nayan Prabhu, the floor is yours. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Welcome you all to Sunday Feast class today on behalf of ISKCON Phoenix. Welcome you all. Start with Mangalacharan prayers. Ajnanatimirandasya jnananjanashalakaya चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने. नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे. हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमूतसूक्तां सञ्जीवयत् अखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना. अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणस्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्. नमस्तस्मै भगवते वासुदेवाय वेदसे पपुर्ज्ञानमयं सौम्य यन्मुखाम्बुर्गुहासवम्. So let's get started with Jai Radha Madhav prayers. जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जनावल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जनावल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना यमुनातिरावनचारि यमुनातिरावनचारि जय राधा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Is there anybody new here, coming here for the first time? Hare Krishna, welcome today. So I'll get started. So today the topic of discussion is going to be Bhagavad Gita chapter 1. And the chapter is titled Observing Armies in the Battlefield of Kurukshetra. So before we get started, I know Bhagavad Gita is a very common household name in most families. So we should understand where Bhagavad Gita comes from and what's the glory of Bhagavad Gita before we start talking about Bhagavad Gita, right? So Sripad Adi Shankaracharya, he has written a set of 7 verses called Gita Mahatmyam. And there he glorifies the greatness of Bhagavad Gita. So in one of the verses he says, Sarvopanishado gavo dokta gopalanandanaha partho vatsa sudhir bhokta dugdam gitamritam mahat. So this verse says, Sarvopanishado gavo. If we assume all the Upanishads have become a cow, right? And dokta gopalanandanaha. The cow is being milked by Gopalanandana, who is Krishna. And Partho Vatsa, the calf is Partha or Arjuna. Sudhir Bhokta and Duktam Gidamritam Mahat. And this beautiful milk which has been gathered from all the Upanishads is being had by all those people who are of superior intelligence. So only people with superior intelligence can take to Bhagavad Gita. So this is the glory of Bhagavad Gita. And if you think about it, even right now, if we read like 10 books to summarize what is there, it's extremely difficult. But Upanishads are, at least the known Upanishads are 108 in number. And the Mukhya Upanishads are 12. And if you see these Upanishads, they are volumes and volumes of stuff. And it's not possible in our lifetime to go over all of them. So Krishna has given us the saram or the rasa of all these Upanishads, and that is Bhagavad Gita. So that's the glory of Bhagavad Gita, which we're going to talk about today. And in this next verse, he says, Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Geetam, Eko Deva Devaki Putra Eva, Eko Mantra Tasya Namani Ani, Karma Pyekam Tasya Devasya Seva. So there is only one Shastra you should read in your lifetime, which is the Bhagavad Gita. Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Geetam. And Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva. There is only one Lord you will have to respect or do your obeisances. That is Lord Shri Krishna. Devaki Putra Eva. Eko Mantra Tasya Namani Ani. There is only one mantra you have to take for your entire life, and that is the mantra of Lord Shri Krishna. And Karma Pyekam Tasya Devasya Seva. And there is only one activity or one service you will have to render, which is to render devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. So this is Sripad Adi Shankaracharya, who is giving us the glory of Bhagavad Gita and the glory of rendering service to Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So with that, the first quality or first important mindset which we will have to have before we take to reading Bhagavad Gita is understanding the fact with implicit faith that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this has been explained in multiple places in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in all the Upanishads. Everything comes to the point that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. So this has to be the prime faith or the first step with which we observe and go and read Bhagavad Gita. So once we have established the ground truth where we have said that the greatness of Bhagavad Gita and the only thing we have to do in our human form of life is to read this Shastra, and accepting the fact that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we're going to get into this Bhagavad Gita, which is a collection of 18 chapters. And the way the Acharyas have explained is the first 6 chapters talk about the Karma Yoga, how one should perform activities in this world. And the next 6 chapters talk about Bhakti Yoga, which is the meat, right? That's the most important part of devotional service, is the most important part of Bhagavad Gita. And the last 6 chapters are the Jnana Yoga. How do you do that activities in this world by having this knowledge or practicing bhakti? So that's the last 6 portions. So an example or an analogy given is that of a jewel box. So you have 2 coverings and inside you have the jewel. So the coverings are the Karma Yoga and the Jnana Yoga, and internally you have the Bhakti Yoga. So all of them start with the first chapter where Krishna and Arjuna are setting the scene for this entire Bhagavad Gita to be enacted, right? So we'll take a moment to talk about like what's going on in this chapter 1, and there are like 5 themes for this entire chapter. We'll go through all of them. And before even getting into this chapter, the first thing is like, we all know about the Mahabharata war, yeah? Everybody knows about the Mahabharata war. So in the battle of the Mahabharata war happened in Kurukshetra, right? So one primer to that is, so there were, we know about Shantanu Maharaj and then Satyavati. And from them there was Vichitravirya, and from them there were Pandu, Vidura, and Dhritarashtra. So Dhritarashtra by birth was blind, so he didn't have material vision, and so that disqualifies him from being a king. And then Vidura was born to a maidservant, so that disqualified him from being a king as well. So Pandu became a king. And Pandu, despite becoming a king, his proclivity or general nature was to go and serve the saints in the forest, be in a secluded place. So he was not very interested in being a king. So it so happened that he also passed away very early. So, but that time, all the Pandavas, the 5 Pandavas, as we know, are Arjuna, the Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, and Sahadeva. So these are the 5 Pandavas. They are sons of Pandu, and then there are Kauravas, who are the sons of Dhritarashtra, who are 100 in number. So now Pandu has passed away, and then the only elder in the family is Dhritarashtra. So the kingdom came to him. So he became the king. So Dhritarashtra became the king, and he was a caretaker king, and he was taking care of this entire kingdom, and he was also taking care of Pandavas. But Duryodhan, who is the first son of Dhritarashtra, the head of the Kauravas, he was completely envious of the Pandavas. He never wanted them to exist. So even during their childhood days, Queen Kunti says, Vishan Mahagne Purushada Darshanat Asat Sabhaya Vanavasa Krichritah. So all these different things, Vishan, so Bhima was poisoned by Duryodhan, trying to be killed, but Krishna protected him. And Mahagni, so they were sent to a Lakshagraha where there was a lac palace, and it was set on fire, and even there, through Vidura, Krishna protected them. And Purushada Darshanat, multiple places, and it so happened that Duryodhana wanted to get rid of Pandavas at all costs, so he plotted with Shakuni, his uncle, and he created this dice game where he enticed the Pandavas to come and play. And they were sent to the forest for 12 years. And it so happened that the Pandavas spent their Vanavasa, and then after that there was Ajñatavasa. So this is the caveat he added. So after the Vanavasa, they have to go to a place where they have to live incognito. So if they got found out, then they won't get any kingdom. So after these 12 years and the Ajñatavasa period was done, then Yudhishthira Maharaj was about to come to Hastinapur, and there he's sending Krishna as a Shanti Dut. He's sending him to Duryodhana to go and talk to him about that Pandavas' Vanavasa has been done, and now it's time for Duryodhana to hand over the kingdom to them. But when Krishna went to them as Shanti Dut, Duryodhana, the first thing he said is, I won't even give a speck of dust to the Pandavas. And Yudhishthira Maharaj was so magnanimous that he didn't even want the kingdom. What he wanted was like 5 villages, because they're Kshatriyas. This is their duty to actually rule something. So he wanted only 5 villages. But Duryodhana said, there is no doing, I won't even give a speck of dust. So it was settled in Krishna's presence that they would battle it out in Kurukshetra. And I'll go to the first slide here. So this is a depiction. So now Krishna has become the Shanti Dut, and he has come to his palace, and Krishna is taking rest, and he has actually told Duryodhana that I will not lift even a weapon during the war. So now Arjuna is coming and Duryodhana is coming to request Krishna to come to their side, right? So Duryodhana is coming and sitting besides Krishna, and then Arjuna is sitting below Krishna, massaging his feet, because Arjuna is a devotee of Krishna. And it so happened that Krishna woke up and he first saw Arjuna, and then he saw Duryodhana by his side, and then he understood that they have come to request Krishna to join in the war. And Krishna, as he woke up, he said, I am not going to fight in the war because I am not going to lift a weapon. So you have 2 things. One is you have me, or you have my Narayani Sena. So that's the very powerful army which Krishna had, which somebody can take, either Arjuna or Duryodhana. So Krishna said, since Arjuna is the first, younger to you, so I'm going to offer him the opportunity. Even before that, Duryodhana was raising his hand so that he can get the Narayani Sena. But Krishna said, since Arjuna was the first person I saw, he should probably get the chance. And then Arjuna, without even a moment's notice, he just said, Krishna, I just want you, I don't want anything else. And Duryodhana was smirking and he was having this joy that Arjuna didn't know what to do. Like he doesn't know the glory of Narayana Sena, but I've got it. So at that point, Duryodhana was very happy and he said, okay, Keshava, I'm going to take the Narayana Sena and then I'm going to go. And then Krishna, he asked Arjuna, why did you pick me instead of Narayana Sena? So Arjuna said, Krishna, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Wherever you are, that is where the victory is. And despite that, I am a soul surrendered unto you and I cannot live without you. So that's why I chose you. So this is the nature of the materialist versus a spiritualist. So Arjuna is explaining how a spiritualistic thinks and then how a materialist thinks. A materialist is all about material calculation, about how many armies we have, how many soldiers we have, and what does it take to win. Right? But here, Arjuna being a devotee, he chose Krishna because Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's the first scene which has been set. And then, so let's get into the first chapter, or the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So the top, you see the theme here, right? So the first verse is talking about Dhritarashtra's inquiry to Sanjaya. So Dhritarashtra, as I mentioned, has been blind since birth. So he didn't have material vision. So Sanjaya was his servant, and he had this divine vision where he can actually visualize what's going on in the battlefield. So there, Dhritarashtra is asking, Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsava mamaka pandavaschaiva kimak kurvata Sanjaya. So here Dhritarashtra is a little worried because the place where the battle is happening is called Kurukshetra. And this place here, according to Bhagavad Gita, is called Dharma Kshetra. So Dharma Kshetra because in that place there has been a lot of penances and sacrifices being made by holy sages. So we typically think of, like, if there is a cricket match between India and Pakistan, we see like where are they playing? Are they playing in Pakistan or are they playing in India? Depending on that, we know who has the advantage, right? So here in this case, the battle is happening in Kurukshetra, which is a dharmic place. So Dhritarashtra has this doubt that my sons, I know they are adharmic. So is there a home side disadvantage for me? So Dhritarashtra is anxious. So he's asking Sanjaya, Kima kurvata Sanjaya. So because he's thinking if they fight, eventuality is that they will lose. So he's thinking, is there a possibility that the Pandavas just give up the fight even before the fight started? So that's why he's anxious and asking, Kima kurvata Sanjaya. So there are a lot of interesting things and a lot of acharyas like Baladev, Vishnu, Vidyabhushan have written a lot of commentaries on this particular verse. And a couple of things notice here is, Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre, where we saw the glory of Kurukshetra. But he is asking Mamaka. The word Mamaka in Sanskrit means belonging to me. So he is now creating a delineation between Pandavas and the Kauravas. He is thinking only those who came from my body, which are the Kauravas, they are my sons. And everybody else is separate. So he is creating the delineation. And this shows the mind of Dhritarashtra. So we know from Bhagavatam that Dhritarashtra, even despite a lot of instructions from elevated persons like Vidura, he was unable to give up his material conception. So this is his deep-rooted material conception where he thinks that anybody who came from his body is what is most important to him. So that's the first theme, which is Dhritarashtra's inquiry into Sanjaya. And then the second theme in the first chapter is Duryodhana's fear and diplomacy. So this covers the verses 2 to 11. So here what happens is now Sanjaya is going to explain to Dhritarashtra in terms of what is happening in the battlefield. So he's saying that the scene begins with Duryodhana talking to Dronacharya. So Dronacharya is the chieftain of the Kuru army. So it's very important and very interesting to see how materialistic people think, right? We see, I'll come to this. So here, Duryodhana is actually talking to Dronacharya, and he says, Pashyaitam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Vyudam Drupada Putrena Tava Sishyena Dhimata. So he says, now, the way he is addressing to Dronacharya is very interesting. So he says, he doesn't talk about the glory of his Sena. He's saying that just see how beautifully the Pandavas' phalanxes are arranged. They have been meticulously put in place by the son of Drupada or Drishtadryumna. So he's saying that he's glorifying the enemy and trying to elicit the response from Dronacharya. He's trying to make him more angry and more agitated so that he'll be able to go and fight better. We see this happening in the corporate culture where he pit against one team against the other. That's primarily what Duryodhana is trying to do. He's saying just to his teacher that see how the Pandavas have been arranged. See the phalanxes of Pandavas, how they have been beautifully arranged. And then he's saying there is the army has heroic bowmen who are equal to Bhima and Arjuna and great fighters like Yudhana, Virata and Drupada. So it's very interesting why Baladev Vidyabhushan says that the Duryodhana is actually very afraid of Bhima. Because when the Draupadi Vastraharan happened, Duryodhana was, the Draupadi was about to be disrobed, Duryodhana tapped his lap and said, "Come and sit on my lap," to Draupadi. And Bhima, hearing this, he said, "Oh Duryodhana, you such a sinful person, I'm going to break your thigh." So Duryodhana was internally very afraid of Bhima. And then the another instance is like when Dushasan was about to disrobe Draupadi, Bhima said, "You are a heartless person, Dushasan. I'm going to take away your heart." So because of that, Duryodhana is internally very afraid of Bhima. So he's quoting Bhima's existence here, right? So this is Duryodhana's internal fear coming out, and through words he's explaining. Even when he says heroic bowmen, he's comparing them to Bhima and Arjuna because he's so afraid of them. And then he's talking about all the heroic people in this battle, namely Drishtaketu, Chetikana, Kasiraja, Purujit, Kuntiboja and Saibya. So Drishtaketu was the son of Sishupala. So Sishupala we know was inimical to Krishna, but his son Drishtaketu was on the Pandava side. And Chekitana was actually one of the Vrishni kings, and he came from the Vrishni dynasty, and Kasi Raja was the king of Kasi. And then Purujit and Kunti Boja, they were all brothers of Kunti Maharani. And then Saibya was the father-in-law of Yudhishthira Maharaj. Yudhishthira Maharaj has another wife named Devika, and her father was Saibya, and he was a very expert warrior. So Duryodhana is actually bringing and saying like all these people are assembled in the battlefield. And then it's very interesting. So now he has told about what is going on in terms of the Pandavas' army. And then he is bringing the attention back to his own army. And he's saying that our army is also not anything less compared to the Pandavas. So we have you, Drona, and then he's saying we have Bhishma, we have Karna, we have Vikarna, and we have all these people who are ready to fight for us. And it's very interesting. If you see the 9th verse of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the first chapter, it says, Anyecha bahava sura madarte tyakta jivitaha nana shastra praharanaha sarve yuddha visharadaha. So it said, the word mad arte tyakta jivitaha. So this is, Baladev Vidyabhushan says, this particular sentence, Duryodhana was forced to talk by Ma Saraswati. So here, Duryodhana, even though he wants to win the war, here is saying that for the sake of me, my soldiers are ready to die, which means that he already knows what is going to happen, that his soldiers are going to die in the battle. So that is that's very interesting, that even though he was trying to win the battle, he's saying that there are soldiers waiting to die. And then he goes on to explain how his phalanxes are being controlled by Bhishma, who is the great grandsire, and he's extremely valorous and chivalrous. And he says the phalanxes controlled by Bhishma are unlimited, are immeasurable, and the ones controlled by Bhima on the other side are measurable. So he's trying to calm himself down, saying that, okay, I think my Sena are also competent enough. And then just after he did this, he's going to say something to Dronacharya. He says, "Oh Drona, you have to be really careful that even though Bhishma is leading the army, I'm a little internally insecure because Bhishma has dual loyalty. So he is also loyal to the Pandavas. So you have to step up. And all these soldiers, you have to step up if something goes wrong." So this is the nature of a materialistic mind. So you're always in a state of fear, right? So if something happens, what is the contingency plan? If this happens, what is the contingency plan? So that's what Duryodhana is thinking. He's thinking if Bhishma fails, then Drona should take over. If Drona fails, somebody else is take over. Because he is thinking that he controls everything rather than thinking about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So there's one interesting thing in all these verses. Duryodhana is missing a very important factor. Can anybody guess what he's missing? Yeah, no, himself, that's good. But he's missing the fact that Krishna is in the battlefield. He's quoting all the different senas or the different soldiers in the battle, but he doesn't think about Krishna. So this is very interesting. And Krishna says, Mattah parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya mai sarvamidam protam sutre manigana eva. The 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Mattah parataram nanyat kinchidasti asti dhananjaya. So, O Arjuna, there is nothing else in this world which is separate from me. And everything rests on me, just like how the pearls are strung on a rope. Just like how the rope has everything strung, but the rope is invisible. But only people with divine vision who are devotees of Krishna can see that Krishna is the one who is connecting everything. Here, Duryodhana is missing that point. Similarly, Kunti Maharani says, Namasye Purusham Tvadyam Ishwaram Prakrite Param Alaksham Sarva Bhutanam Antar Bahiravastitam. So Krishna exists both internally and externally, but all the living beings, they are not able to see. Alaksham sarva bhutanam antarbahiravastitam. Why? Because maya javanika channam agnyadokshajam avyayam nalakshase moodadrisha nato natyadaro yata. Because they have been covered by a curtain of maya. So the curtain of maya is preventing them from seeing the fact that Krishna exists behind everything. Just like how the pearls are strung around the thread, they're not able to see that Krishna is the one who is making everything happen. And here, Duryodhan, because of his materialistic mindset, he's not able to understand the fact that Krishna is the driver. So that's the second phase of the first chapters, where the Duryodhan's fear and diplomacy is being talked about. And in verses from 12 to 19, it's a very interesting passage. So here, after Duryodhan spoke about the glories of his Sena, the glories of the Pandava Sena, trying to pit each soldiers against each other, and there what happened is Bhishma, he started the war cry. He blew his conch shell, and then he's getting ready to start the war. And after that, it's mentioned, if this verse is very interesting. So the text 14, it says, Tatasveter Hare yukte mahati shandane stitau madavav pandavas chaiva divya shankau pradadmatuhu. So in the battle, every day there was one person who was assigned as the commander-in-chief. So the first day of the battle, Drishtadyumna was supposed to be the commander-in-chief. So which means he's the one who's supposed to call the shots, right? So here, the verse says that Madhava Pandavas Chaiva. So it was first Krishna from the Pandavas side who blew the conch shell. So this is extremely in contrast to what happened in the other side. So where Duryodhan was pitting everybody against each other, not talking about Krishna. But here, despite Krishna just being a charioteer, right? He is just a chariot driver for Arjuna. Here the Pandavas are letting Krishna to start the war cry for the battlefield of Kurukshetra, right? So that goes on to say, the devotees, they know that Krishna is their life and soul, and everything happens because of Krishna. So Krishna started the war cry, and it's mentioned each of their shank is named. So Krishna's shank was called Panchajanya. And after Krishna blew his conch shell, it was Arjuna. Arjuna's conch shell was called Devadatta. And then it was Bhima. Bhima's conch shell was called Paundra. And then there was Yudhishthira Maharaj. His conch shell was called Ananta Vijaya. And then it was Nakula and Sahadeva. Their conch shells called Sugosha and Manipushpaka. So there was this tumultuous sound of conch shell being blown all over. And then it's mentioned in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, just by the Divya Shanko, it's the transcendental vibration from the conch of the Pandavas, the Kuru army who was there, they were already deflated. Their ego, their confidence, everything was already lost, and they've already lost the battle at that point. So this goes on to say, we see in our artis, like every time the pujari blows the conch shell, the conch is considered to be a very auspicious sound, and it is supposed to be connecting to the divine realm, right? So that's because Krishna himself is blowing the conch shell, it is creating this effect on the Kuru army where they are completely deflated and their confidence is shattered. So even before the war broke out, the result is all clear, right? That they are not going to win. So that's the third section, where the blowing of conch shells as a sign of victory for Pandavas was happening. And then something interesting happens. So now, after the battle is about to begin, at this point, Arjuna has second thoughts. So now he's asking Krishna, Krishna, can you take my chariot and take it to the center of the two armies? And I want to see who are all these people who are willing to fight me. So Arjuna says, Senayorubayor madhye ratam stapaya mechuta yavadeta niriksheham yodukaman avastitan kairmaya sahayodavyam asmin ranasamudyame. So he's asking, who are all these people who are willing to take their swords and fight with me? Let me go and see them. So now Krishna is about to take his chariot and take it in front of the two armies, and then he's going to show Arjuna what is going on. So it's a very interesting parallel in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhishma Dev is actually saying, Sapadi sakivacho nicham yamadya nijaparayor balayoratam niveshe stitavati parasainikayurakshne hritavati partha sakeratir mamastu. While Arjuna is about to go in between those two armies, Bhishma is on the other side, he's on the Kuru side. And he is a very, very strong devotee of Krishna as well. Even though he's fighting against Krishna, he is also a strong devotee of Krishna. So he is saying, Sapadi Sakivacho Nishamya Madhya. Just because his friend Arjuna wanted to take him to the battle, in the middle of the battlefield, Krishna drove the chariot and brought it in front of the two armies. And he says, Hritavati Partha Sakhe Ratir Mamastu. He says, just by Akshne, just by the vision of Krishna, all the Kuru, the warriors, their lifespan was taken to zero. So basically they were all killed by just when Krishna moved in front and saw the armies, just then the battle was finished. So that's what Bhishma Dev is reciting there. And he's about to fight still, but he is still he's able to see what Krishna's magnitude is and what he's able to do. And he's in the mood of a devotee. But Krishna and Arjuna are going to the middle of the battlefield, and then there Arjuna is seeing Drona, he's seeing Bhishma, he's seeing all his family members and Kauravas and all of them ready to fight. And that's the second section, the next section of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, where Arjuna is actually put into an illusion. So Krishna puts Arjuna into an illusion. So Arjuna now thinks, he's actually rethinking, should I actually fight? He's actually dropping his bow, Kandiva, and he's about to stop fighting. And then he's thinking if he's doing the right thing to go and fight. Even though they are about to begin the fight, Krishna is actually putting Arjuna into this illusion by which he will be able to talk about the glory of the Bhagavad Gita and talk about how one should perform bhakti, one should perform karma, one should perform jnana, and all these are about to be spoken by Krishna. And this is the setting where Krishna through his Yoga Maya is putting Arjuna into an illusion, and because he is choosing Arjuna because he is his devotee. So we see multiple examples, right? Even Yashoda Maya was put into Yoga Maya where she forgot that Krishna is the Supreme Lord and still treated him as his child, right? So Krishna does this to his devotee so that he will be able to spread the message of Bhagavad Gita, and also the path of how to achieve him has to be accessible for everybody. So Krishna creates this illusion to Arjuna. And what happens next is the sixth theme of this entire chapter, where Arjuna is actually listing a set of reasons why he should not fight. It's very interesting. Everything comes out of reason 1, but there are 5 reasons here. So the first reason is like he sees compassion for his relatives and friends. So Arjuna sees that there is Bhishma, there is Drona, there is Dhritarashtra, and all these different people who are ready to fight with him. And then, so now Arjuna is thinking, should I fight? And his heart is actually overcome by compassion, and he's saying to Krishna that I should not fight. That was the first reason Arjuna gave. And the second reason Arjuna is giving is that if there is no enjoyment even if he's victorious. For example, if Arjuna goes and wins this war, so all his family members are going to be killed in the battle. So then who will he have time to enjoy with? So there is nobody to enjoy. So he's thinking, okay, so should I do this, because there is no point in actually taking up to this war? Should we have a truce or a peace? And then the third thing he's giving is that he's fearing for sinful reactions. So Arjuna is a true devotee of Krishna, and he is so elevated, but he's taking up this role because he's actually acting in a role so that Krishna will be able to talk the Bhagavad Gita later, right? So he's actually fearing for sinful reactions. So in the Vedic Shastras, it's given that there are 6 types of aggressors who should be vanquished no matter what. And the types of aggressors are one who is actually poisoning, and one who sets things on fire, and one who is taking up somebody's property, one who is attacking somebody with weapons, and one who kidnaps somebody else's wives. So these are different types of aggressors, and we know that Duryodhan was doing all of them, right? There is not one he didn't do. And so there is no sinful reaction if aggressors are killed. But Arjuna, he's acting in a way that something like that would happen. And then he's saying destruction of family traditions. So he's actually giving a very, a hierarchical flow of how actually families get destroyed or tradition get destroyed. So we can see this happening right now around us. And it's important, like what Arjuna is saying. Arjuna is saying that first thing which happens is Kulakshaya. Kulakshaya is the dynasty of the Kurus will be destroyed. And when Kulakshaya happens, then there is Pranashyati Kuladharmaha. So all the Kuladharma or the family traditions which are there, they will all be destroyed. So when the family traditions are destroyed, what happens? Then Adharma becomes prevalent or irreligion becomes prevalent. So that is Adharma Abhibhivanti. So that's the third thing, which is Adharma becomes prevalent. And once Adharma becomes prevalent, what happens is Pranashyanti Kulastriyaha. All the women in the family traditions, they become polluted. Why do they get polluted? Because there is no dynasty, there is no king to rule, there is no proper kingdom. Then the unscrupulous people, they associate with the women, and because of that, there is Jayate Varna Shankara, or there is unwanted progeny. So when there is unwanted progeny, then that causes hellish condition in this world, and then it causes Patanti Pitaro, so all the forefathers, they fall down because there is no Pinda or Shraddha ceremony done for them, so they all fall down. And then there is no community welfare activities or any family welfare activities which will happen. So this is the gradual degradation of society which will happen, and Arjuna is giving this as an example as to why he should not fight. So it's very interesting. And then he actually goes to the point in the 2nd chapter, 6th verse, where he says, I'm completely indecisive, Krishna. I don't know what to do. And then he says, Karpanya dosho pahata svabhava prichami tvam dharma samudha chetaha yat sreyasham de bruhitam nishchitam me sishyasateham shadimam tvam prapannam. He says, Karpanya dosha pahata svabhava. Because of that, I'm completely overcome by miserly weakness of heart. So please, tell me what I should do, Krishna. Sishyasateham shadimam tvam prapannam. I have become a soul surrender unto you. Please guide me as to what I should be doing. And then Krishna talks the Bhagavad Gita in the 18 chapters. And that's the whole Bhagavad Gita. And this first chapter is actually setting the scene for all these things to unfold. So the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is very important in the sense that it's actually setting the scene for the Bhagavad Gita, the entire Bhagavad Gita which Krishna speaks. So we'll see, for all the reasons which Arjuna is giving here, Krishna will refute them in the 2nd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So that's those are all the, in summary, all the common themes or the main important themes in the chapter 1 of the Bhagavad Gita. First is Dhritarashtra's inquiry to Sanjaya, and then Duryodhana's fear and diplomacy, and then the signs of victory for the Pandavas, and then Arjuna observes the armies. Krishna puts Arjuna under illusion so that he could speak Bhagavad Gita, and Arjuna giving his reasons not to fight. So that's in crux, the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So we have heard the Bhagavad Gita, and in the Padma Purana, there is this beautiful section called Gita Mahatmyam. Just like how we saw Adi Shankaracharya's Gita Mahatmyam, in Padma Purana there is a section called Gita Mahatmyam. And there it's explained by Lord Shiva to Mother Parvati. And he's actually explaining what is the glory of reading or reciting the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So there was a Brahmin in a city called, and his name was Susharma. So even though he was a Brahmin by birth, he was extremely prone to unscrupulous things, and he was eating flesh and everything. So it so happened that this Brahmin Susharma, he went to a place in a sage's ashram to gather some leaves. So at that point, a snake bit him and he died. So when he died, he went to the Yamaloka and he was put into hellish conditions, and then he was forced to take the body of a bull. And he became a bull, and he was under the care of a crippled person. And this person was making this bull take up a lot of load. And this bull was almost impossible for it to carry the load. So all the people gathered to see how this bull was suffering. And one person in the audience, she said, I'm going to give my punya credits or pious credits to this person so that this bull is able to get a better life next time. And then there was a prostitute in this audience, and she said, okay, I don't know what good things I have done, but I'm going to give some of my punya credits to this person as well. And then, so it so happened that the bull died, and then the bull went back to Yamaloka, and Yamaraj met him and said, all your sinful reactions have been nullified because somebody else gave you a punya credits, and that has completely eradicated all your sinful reactions, and you're going to be born as a Brahmin in your next birth, and you'll remember everything which has happened so far. So he was born as a Brahmin in the next birth, and then he remembered everything. So he sought out the prostitute, and he went to the prostitute and asked, what is that punya you did? And what is that you gave me that actually vanquished all my sinful reactions? And the prostitute said, I have not done anything pious in my life. The only thing which I have done is I repeated some Sanskrit shloka, and that was this parrot which is in my home which repeats something. So they both went to the parrot and asked, oh parrot, what is that you recite? And this parrot said, okay, I have a history myself. So I was a Brahmana in my previous birth, and I was extremely haughty against everybody, and I disrespected everybody. So I was cursed, and I went to the hell. And then in the next birth, I got a birth as a parrot. And then because of my sinful reactions, both my parents died at an early age. And some sages, I went to a sage ashram, and they gave me some shelter. And there, the sages' boys, they were actually reciting the first chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Dharma Kurukshetre, Samaveta, Yuyutsava, Mamaka, Pandavas, Chaiva, Kimakuryata Sanjaya. So I was reciting the same verse over and over, and that's the only thing I know. And that's the verse you heard, O prostitute, and that's the pious credit you heard. And then all these three people, they got to know the glory of the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, and they perfected their lives by reading the Bhagavad Gita, and all of them went back home, back to Godhead. So that's the glory of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And so I know there are a few new people in this congregation now today. And if anybody doesn't have Bhagavad Gita, our temple has Bhagavad Gita in all languages. So please take one Bhagavad Gita home. And typically there is a misconception thinking that if you take Bhagavad Gita home, then there is going to be fight because Duryodhana and Arjuna fought, and there is going to be fight at home. But Krishna in the 18th chapter completely squashes that misconception. He says, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara Tatra Shrir Vijayo Bhutir Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. So wherever there is Krishna, the supreme mystic, and wherever there is Arjuna, the bowman, then there is Tatra Shri, there is going to be opulence, Vijaya, there is going to be victory, there is going to be Bhuti, there is going to be extreme power, and there is going to be Niti, there is going to be morality. So all these four things would follow when one has Bhagavad Gita, one reads Bhagavad Gita at home. So with that mood, let's all take to Bhagavad Gita, read Bhagavad Gita, and thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to purify myself. Hare Krishna. At this point, if anybody has any questions or comments, I can take it. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for the wonderful summary of the first chapter. So one question I had is, like, you mentioned the first 6 chapters are Karma Yoga and the last 6 chapters are Jnana Yoga. So I'm thinking, why did Krishna give those two in addition to Bhakti Yoga? Isn't Bhakti Yoga sufficient? And so can you comment on that?
Hare Krishna. Yeah, I've heard this from other elevated Vaishnavas. So the thing is, like, if something is so great, like bhakti, if it is given first, then we lose the taste for it. Like we don't understand or appreciate the greatness of it. And Krishna also wanted the crux to be in the middle portion so that people gradually get elevated and come to the point of bhakti. And then so the way the acharyas explain is like how to do work is the first 6 chapters, and for Krishna is the second 6 chapter, and in this world is the third 6 chapters, right? So how to do work, so we need to know how one should perform work, and then we need to know who we should perform that work for, and that is in the meat, or the next 6 chapters talk about that, and that's the crux of the Bhagavad Gita. And in this world, it's not like going away from this world, but even being in this world, how are you able to do it? And that's explained in the last 6 chapters. So that's why this particular arrangement has been made. Hare Krishna. Okay. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
That was a wonderful class. Please give Prabhu a nice round of applause. I'm surprised nobody had so many questions. I was expecting some questions. Very clear. That's right. So we'd like to thank Prabhu for a nice class, and also now we'd like to acknowledge today's Sunday Feast sponsors. So we have Abil Kambos sponsoring today's feast in memory of his father. Is Prabhu here? Abil Kambos. Please come and receive Mahagarden. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Please give them a big round of applause. Next we have the Siha family. I don't know if everybody's out of the class yet. Is everybody here? So we have 2 birthdays. So, Prabhu, they're there. So Amish Siha and family, there's Rashmi and Saurish's birthday. So mother and son birthdays today. Please give them a big round of applause. Saurish is not here. So Saurish is in the class. We'll catch up with him later. So there is a cake that they'll be cutting. They'll be cutting a cake after the announcement. So we'll just honor him at that time. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. And upcoming festivals. First of all, before I do that, any newcomers today to the temple? First, Hare Krishna, welcome. Are you... Please give them a big round of applause. Have you moved to Phoenix or you're visiting? You're visiting? Where are you visiting from? So, from where? Where are you visiting from? India? Wow. What part? Pune. Oh, very nice. Welcome to Phoenix. We hope you're having a good time. And if you are here for a longer time, please come and visit us again. So please give them a round of applause. Anyone else? You're new as well? No? Okay. Hare Krishna. So next Sunday, we are going to be going to Tumbleweed Park with our catering services. There's going to be Bharat Heritage Organization who's going to be celebrating Makar Sankranti. So that's at Tumbleweed Park, as I said, in Chandler. And it's going to be from 10 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock in the evening. So we are going to be there. If you'd like to join us there, please do so. And we're also looking for some volunteers to help out. And if you'd like to volunteer, please see Parthasarathi Prabhu. He's in the kitchen right now, but he'll be coming out soon. And Makar Sankranti actually, there's a small confusion. I think it starts tomorrow, and it's on Tuesday, so it's half Monday and half Tuesday. So some are celebrating Makar Sankranti tomorrow, and some people are celebrating it on Tuesday. So if you all want to come to the temple and take blessings from their lordships, you're welcome to do so. It's a very auspicious day, Makar Sankranti, and you can also, apart from taking blessings, you can also do seva for the temple or for Brahmins as well, Brahmin seva. And then on the 25th of January, it's a Saturday, and it's going to be the first anniversary of Ram Mandir in Ayodhya, and we are going to be celebrating that at the temple with the Maharana organization. It's going to be from 3:30 in the afternoon till 7:30. They're going to start with yoga, then there's going to be some couple of cultural presentations of some classical dance, and then they're going to do a parikrama of the temple. There's going to be arati and prasadam. So that's on the 25th of January. It's a Saturday, and there's a program at the temple for the first to celebrate the first anniversary of Ram Mandir opening in India. But we are doing that here. So please join us if you can. And we have a lot of nice ongoing programs that we have at the temple. We start the morning with a morning sadhana program, and temple devotees can join as early as 4 o'clock via Zoom or YouTube, and they do some chanting. Then from the official time is from 5 to 6. They do some little bit of reading so that they can enhance their chanting, and they chant till 5:40. And then from 5:40 to 6 o'clock, they read a couple of verses from Srimad Bhagavatam and explain the verses. It's a very nice way to start the morning. And if you cannot attend at that time, the YouTube recordings will always be there. So if you find a time that is good for you, go to that recording every day at that time, so that you are participating in hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is very wonderful, and that hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam will help you in your daily lives, and also it's a nice way to start the day. So please do that. We also have we put a lot of emphasis on Srimad Bhagavatam. We also read Srimad Bhagavatam live at the temple from 7:35 to 8:15 every day. It's also on Facebook Live and Zoom, so you don't have to come to the temple if you cannot, but you can listen to it from the luxury of your home, office, wherever you may be. And again, that will be sitting on the Facebook page because there's a recording there, and you can always go and catch up with that. Our Vaishnavis just finished reading Srimad Bhagavatam, and currently they are doing summary reading of Srimad Bhagavatam via Zoom in the evenings from 4:30 to 5:15 from Monday through Friday. The temple Srimad Bhagavatam is every day, 7 days a week throughout the year. And our youth are also reading Srimad Bhagavatam via Zoom on Sunday afternoons from 2 to 3. Again, you can join them if you can. They're also doing a really nice explanation of what they're reading currently. So if there are any youth who would like to join, they're welcome to join. I think we have Nikhil here. Nikhil, you can just, so he's sitting over there if you need more information, or there's Namapriya Mataji at the table over there, and she can give you more information about that also. We are soon going to be starting the reading of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by the Vaishnavis in the afternoons. But meanwhile, we go to bed before we go to bed in the evenings. We also are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita via Zoom in the evenings from 8:40 to 8:40 to 9 o'clock from Monday to Thursday. So that's Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita reading at the temple also. We also read Prabhupada's books from Monday to Thursday via Zoom and Facebook in the evenings from 7:05 to 7:35. And currently we are reading teachings of Queen Kunti. So that also is a wonderful reading. If you can connect with the Facebook, it will be sitting there. The recordings are sitting there. And we have Bhakti Vriksha programs currently on Fridays, and I think we have not resumed our Saturday ones yet after the holidays. And our yoga class is also on hold. They'll be starting soon. And our Sunday school and Hindi classes have begun. So if you have children who'd like to join the Sunday school and Hindi classes, we have Shivananda Prabhu can give you the details there. We have Hindi classes on Zoom on Saturdays and in person on Sundays. And the Sunday school is in person here. Puja and catering services are available at the temple. And we are going to go ahead and recite the Prasadam prayers, and we'll take blessings, and then we'll be taking Prasadam. So when we form the line for the blessings, we'll have children and volunteers and elderly come first, and then the rest of us can join the line afterwards. And the same applies to taking the Prasadam. And don't forget, we'll be cutting a cake. Saurish, he missed the honoring here. We'll be giving him the garland over there. So we'll recite the Prasadam prayers and take blessings. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. So today's program, the whole day pujas, and this evening's program was dedicated to the people suffering in Los Angeles because of the fires there. So if you, I don't know if anybody has any relatives or families in Los Angeles and suffering from the fire, we have got some links we can give to you. If your families or friends need help over there, we can give you some links, but we are, please pray for them, people who have been affected by the fires. And we can go ahead and recite the Mahamantra at least once or 3 times right now. So for the people who are suffering in Los Angeles due to the fires, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
महाप्रसादे गोविंदे नाम ब्राह्मणे वैष्णवे स्वल्प पुण्यावत् सम्राज कृष्ण सुने बजायते शरीरा विद्याजाय जड़ेन्द्रियताय का जीव फेरे विषय सागरे नारमति जीवाति लोभमय सुधर्मते काके जेड़ा करे संसारे कृष्ण बड़ो दयामय गरीबार जीव जाय स्वाप्रसादन दिल भाय शयनामृत पाओ श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गुण गाओ प्रेमदा को श्री चैतन्यताय जय निमाय जय निताय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री भगवत महाप्रसादम की प्रभुपाद की।
Oh,
It's fine. It wasn't like that.
In the beginning, it's really slow.
Oh, yeah.
But then at some point,
Who is Sangwa?
Is it not? Oh, it's
She wants it, whatever she wants. Give her.
so in the beginning, but then at some point, but the one that was being that, if you want to,
like in the middle is music.
yeah, like
Okay, then you guys are going to sing. You can stop using
I can. I feel naked.
Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine. Hare Hare Hare
died in the middle. My voice died in the middle. I was just cracking so bad. Oh my god. Also, my foot fell asleep. I was so nervous.
Nice. How was it?